Third Eye. Today, I have the luxury of talking with Flat Earth Dave, also known by his real name as Dave Weiss. He is the, I guess you could say, inventor and creator of the app Flat Earth Clock, which I have had for probably 2 years now, maybe a little bit more, from the first time I ever heard him on some podcasts. So today, we're going to go to Flat Earth School and get enlightened, because I don't know where I stand. I don't buy NASA's, perceived we live on a globe, and, some things are hard for me to wrap my head around with Flat Earth. So hopefully you, Dave, can help me with that. I've also had Moral Bob on, and he's gone over some Flat Earth with me as well. And having said that, I'll turn the mic over to you. You can introduce yourself to my guests and let people know where they can find you.
You can find all of my stuff at flatearthdave.com. Links to the app, links to my podcast, links to my interviews, my videos, all sorts of stuff. So it's all there. I also have on there, I call it the Flat Earth Crash Course. Click that, and there's a series of videos, and I challenge anybody to get through the first 3 without becoming a globe denier, okay? Why do I say globe denier? Because I don't know what this place is, right? It's level, it's horizontal. You can describe it as flat. Flat is not a shape. But one thing that all flat earthers can agree on is that we're not on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space vacuum.
Very true. The thing that I guess that I struggle with the most is when they talk about Antarctica being the ice wall that surrounds everything, okay? And then my mind immediately goes, well, okay, if you go off, can you fall off that? But then my mind also goes to other theories that I've heard. If you go beyond that, there's more maybe realms or extra territory to be said.
Territory where extraterrestrials would come from, the outer space. So that's all fun to speculate on, and I believe it is true, but you don't need that to prove that we don't live on a ball. When people say the ice wall, they get stuck with Game of Thrones and the little guy up there saying he wants to piss off the end of the world. Well, that's nothing like what the ice wall is. This is the ice wall right here. Antarctica, they tell us, is the highest land on Earth. They tell us Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the ball, like so, and it's the highest land on Earth. I always thought that was kind of weird, but in reality, excuse me, in reality, Antarctica is the shoreline of the world pond.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? Large bodies of water at rest need a container. They need lateral pressure, right? If you had a tub of water without the tub, you no longer have a tub of water. If you have a pond, the entire perimeter, without exception of that pond, the land is higher than the surface of the water, because if it wasn't, the water would flow away. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It is the container of the world pond.
Now that makes sense.
Right. Thank you.
Because, and I have heard you on other podcasts, and, it's been a minute since I've heard, an interview on some of the podcasts that I follow and the crews that I run with and what have you. But, so it's refreshing to hear that, because you more than likely have broke this down before. I know you have, but for my audience and myself, because I want to enlighten my third eye as well. I'm not the brightest man in the room.
You're brighter than all of the other people out there that have no idea there's an issue with the Earth. Okay, right. And that is 99% of the world. Yes. So. Maybe less. Maybe it's diminishing. So good that you're out in the lead of the pack. Just pretend this is a puddle that you're looking at, and in the puddle there's some land sticking up. They're all surrounded by water, but all of that water is surrounded by the container, the land. Antarctica is, just think of Antarctica as just the low spot in the land, this part of Antarctica, and you fill it with water. So now you have this puddle, and we live here in this puddle. What's out here? What's out here, right? We don't know, because you can't get by 60 degrees south. People go, well, you can get a job in Antarctica. You can go visit Antarctica, right? There's 100 to go to Antarctica. It's a 10,000 minimum, maybe, 30, 40, 50,000 for just a couple of days.
Jeez.
They'll take you to this little peninsula here. It looks small, but in reality, it's bigger than many countries. Okay. They'll show you some ice. They'll show you some penguins, and they will send you on your way. They will not bring you 1,000 miles out here, right? This is like 1,000 miles, just this white area here. Who knows if this is not all frozen? Antarctica could be frozen all the way across, right? We don't know. But they'll turn you around. Now, there's 100 different companies you can choose from to pick your trip. When you're spending that much money on a trip, maybe you want to check out the competition, right? All of those companies are owned by the same person. Okay. What's going on there? What's going on there? Right. So they make it not accessible to the average human being. And even if you can afford, you can't really do anything. Here's a map that was found, I think it was found in Hawaii, supposedly 10 centuries old, showing like 30 plus continents outside of Antarctica. Here's the shoreline of the puddle. And out here are more lands. Just imagine if just that was true. I think it's much more vast than this.
That's mind-blowing, because once, say, you get past the ice and that's containing the water, and you get to these other lands, okay, and obviously there's going to be water out there, so that means something else bigger is going to be holding that in. And,
well, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you're done.
The only other thing I was really quick going to say is, if you look at any body of water, whether it's in a cup, in a tub, in a pond, a lake, an ocean, it's always level. It's always level.
Large bodies of water at rest are horizontal. Anything bigger than a bucket of water, okay? Because you can have a drop of water that has surface tension. You can have a glass that has a meniscus on it, but that meniscus of a glass of water is the same amount of meniscus on an ocean of water. So there's no comparison.
Right.
So level, would you say that level is horizontal? Level is horizontal, and horizontal lines are parallel.
Correct.
Would you agree? And horizontal lines are all parallel with the horizon, the horizontal horizon, right? But on a ball, horizontals are not parallel. No two horizontals are the same because they're all over the place. On ballers, globers have to say that level is curved.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, this is what they have to say to defend their model. The globe is so, I'm going to say a word that might trigger some people, retarded, okay? That when you look at it, it is, anyone that's defending it is either under serious mind control, hypnosis, whatever you want to call, cognitive dissonance, ego, whatever it is, or they're being deceptive on purpose for a reason. 99.999% of them are just indoctrinated, like you and I were. You went to school. What's the first thing that the teacher shows you at the front of the class? A globe. Okay. Well, one of the, and I'm worldwide, this is true. One of the first worksheets you bring home is about the planet's orbits. The sun goes around, the earth goes around the sun, the moon goes around the earth. And it's the whole connection thing. And then you have to figure out know the order of the planets, right? This is one of the first worksheets that you take home. They're teaching you about gravity, about swinging a bucket of water on a rope around, right? Oh, wow, that's amazing. But the problem is that's not gravity. That's centrifugal force. Right. Okay. And it's to make that like gravity. And I questioned this as a kindergartner, first grader. I said, don't you have to have the water on the outside of the bucket like that? Like it's on the outside of the earth? And the teacher's like this. And he's like, that's an interesting question, but this is the way I'm told to teach it. And this is the way I'm going to teach it. And he sent me on my way. Okay. So teachers aren't liars. They're indoctrinated. You know how you become a teacher? You memorize and regurgitate what your teacher told you. So you get an A, and then you can do the same to the next generation.
Yep. Always,
Yeah.
And then the next big lie is 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue because he was going to try and prove that the earth was not flat.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I buy the Columbus story anymore.
Well, you shouldn't, because our Capitol building was here before Columbus got here. Have you looked into Tartaria yet?
Yeah, I have a couple friends in the game
Yeah.
that have
Do you know
been doing some good work on that.
under our Capitol building is another building?
Hmm.
Another building. Like, what's going on? Why is there a building buried there? Or what happened? You
Yeah.
know, and so that's a phenomenal topic, but all of that is related to flat Earth, right? You know, did the mud floods happen during the Great Flood, the Noah flood?
Right.
Possible. I don't know. But how do you flood a ball? Where does all the water come from on a heliocentric ball system? Where do you get enough water to raise the sea levels higher than all of the lands? Okay. Now, in if Antarctica, they don't lie about everything. They do tell us some amazing things. So I'm trying to find a quick image here, but we'll go back to this Antarctic one. If Antarctica is set up like this is kind of like the biblical view. All of this land adds up to more than all of the oceans and all the continents combined, right?
Nope,
and
sure.
if Antarctica is 200 feet higher than the rest of the world and higher, and there's all that ice and it melted, well, this pond would go up by hundreds of feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. But if Antarctica is like they tell us, right, 200 feet high, and this entire thing melted, spread that out across the earth, what are we going to get? A quarter of an inch rise, maybe? Right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Never made any sense. Where's all that water coming from? So was it the Great Melt? Was it the Great Flood? Did the waters come in from the heavens above? I don't know.
And I might be jumping ahead here, but what's your thoughts of recent satellite images showing pyramids in Antarctica?
Well, you got to break down that question first. So first, you're assuming that there's satellites. You're assuming, satellite dishes, this and that. Right. You're assuming that there's satellites. Satellites falling around the Earth make absolutely no sense at all, right? In fact, satellites falling around the Earth, matching our spiraling corkscrewing motion, right, and staying over the same piece of land. That's absolutely nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Satellites, whether you know it or not, they used to use balloons. Then all of a sudden they were using rockets. Now they're going back to balloons again. You know why? Because they've always been on balloons. Okay. NASA controls all of the helium in the world. They've demonized hydrogen by having the false flag event called the Hindenburg. And NASA controlled, there's always a helium shortage. There's always just enough helium for parties and balloons. That's about it. Okay. And there's infinite helium, infinite hydrogen. There's infinite everything. So they want us to believe in this world of lack. They don't want us to know that satellites are hanging from balloons. So what about the pictures? There's pictures of the Earth. Yeah, well, Google sent up their drones and they photographed almost all of the Earth, which is quite interesting. Except if you Google Antarctica from space, they're all cartoons. What's going on there? You can get some satellite images of the edges of Antarctica where we have a couple bases and there are lots of people, but they won't photograph the cities of people that live out on Antarctica that have no communication with our world, right? Outer worlders, I'll call them, right? We've had some whistleblowers that have talked about that. Again, these are things that we can't prove right now because we're not allowed to go there. Right. So your question, now let's get back to your question. What was your question about satellites? Okay.
And I was using the generic term when,
I know. I figured as much, but I figured I'd clear it up for the audience.
But there is, if you want to believe it or not, anything can be hoaxed. You did say, artist renderings and cartoons and what have you. And NASA employs the most Disney graphic designers out there. But there's these images of said pyramids that you can see peeking up through some of the ice, and they look just like the Great Pyramids and other pyramids around the world.
So there's lots of evidence that there was Antarctica was a tropical area at one point. right? And so there's, and again, all the information I have in Antarctica is secondhand information. So the question is, how could there be pyramids there? Well, I think Earth has been around for a while. Have you watched the Ewaranon videos yet?
Not yet.
So this video, it says a lot of things, but there's so much truth in it, and I'll show you where to watch the video, and it's unbelievable. When you watch this, your head is going to explode. But this is the moon, okay? And if you look at the dark spots on the moon, they kind of represent a map of the Earth, or maybe an older map of the Earth. Maybe when the Earth had different sea levels because the continents changed, but it really lines up. There's a lot of, I'm going for it. There is some similarity. I don't know if it's a reflection, projection, connection, whatever it is, but let's just pretend right now that this is the entire world, map of the greater world. Well, this is where we live. Inside this outer white line is the shoreline of our pond. Everything outside of that is frozen. And the reason that we're melted here is because we have a small local sun that circles around our center. Okay. You with me? So our center is right here. Here's the North Pole. Well, the North Pole moves. They always say our North Pole is moving. Another truth. Our North Pole moves and travels around this great circle every 25,000 years and change. It's called a great year. So every 2,160 years, it moves. The North Pole will move 15 degrees. So in 12,000 years from now, our North Pole will be here. Our pond will be here, and everything over here will be an ice age. And so the Egyptian pyramids will be frozen. Okay. And then somebody, when it's coming around, several thousand years later, and Egypt is now in the pond on the, just outside of the shoreline of Antarctica when it's over here, right? All of a sudden, someone might see some pyramids. There's a very interesting explanation. Now, again, you need to watch. There's a whole bunch of episodes, but episode 1, it's only 5 hours long. 5 hours. Who's got time for that? Well, let me tell you something. I guarantee you this. If you watch it for 10 minutes, you'll watch it for 20 minutes. And if you watch it for 20 minutes, you'll watch it for 5 hours. And when you are done, you are going to be looking for the next opportunity to watch it again, because your head's going to explode. Right? The amount of information there. Now, whether you believe or not that the moon has anything to do with the layout of the Earth, which I kind of do. I think there is a correlation. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Even if it's not, the idea that our realm is moving around in a great year makes a lot of sense. The Prague clock, the famous clock in Prague that has all that's showing these motions. It's very interesting.
Don't those timelines almost match up with a full year of a zodiac?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So every 2,160 years, we go into the next zone.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's pyramids everywhere. The bigger question is, who built them? When were they there? Who built these Tatarian buildings? Where is this free energy technology that is clearly in these old buildings? These buildings are literally, I describe them as living buildings. They're part of the living Earth, right? We're inside of this giant living Earth system. And that has been taken away from us. They have convinced us that we're careening through space in a godless or distant God universe at best, where an asteroid could take us out, where we have no sense of importance, where we're running out of food, we're running out of water, nuclear bombs are going to blow us up. All of that is fake. It's all fake fear, false evidence appearing real. Nuclear bombs don't exist. There's infinite water. There's infinite helium. There's infinite food. We're not overpopulated. The population of the Earth cannot be 7.8 billion people. Okay. They're lying about everything.
Absolutely. I mean, take the last 2.5 years.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing with all the crap that's been going on in the last 2.5 years, why am I going on and on about the shape of the earth? Well, remember, flat is not a shape. It's a description of horizontal and level. It's because if you had your feet planted down where you are at the center of creation, if you are connected to the earth and living your full mind, in school, they tell us we only use 10% of our brain. Well, guess what? That's the goal of school, to lock down 90% of your actual creativity and imagination and to push you into this little slave mentality. And so you are only using 10% of your brain. But if you could plant yourself, know that you're at the center of creation, open up your mind, see the world, one, you'd never be bored. There's no flat earther that is ever bored. Once you discover flat earth, there's never, if you can be 48 hours per day and I only need to sleep 3, I still wouldn't have enough time to look at all the things I want to look at and think about all the things I want to think about.
Right.
Okay. So if you're at the center and you know that you are, that your thoughts create reality, everything changes. You start using your brain, right? You start getting to the point where you might challenge the people that say that they rule over you. The only people that have control over you is in your imagination. The only control people have over you is in your imagination. You are free, God-given person here in this realm, and they put us in the matrix. The matrix, just like the friggin' movie. The matrix is the heliocentric belief. Right? When you believe you live on a globe spinning through infinite space, you are plugged into the matrix. What did Neo say to Morpheus after he was pulled out of the matrix? He's lying on a table with all of the IVs in him. And he said, my eyes hurt. Why do my eyes hurt? And what did Morpheus say? Do you remember?
Oh man, it's been a while, but it hasn't, because I went back and rewatched them.
He said, because you've never used them before.
That's
right. So for those of you that are listening, see, in your reservation, you wrote, not so sure what the shape of the earth is. What you should have wrote, I know it's not a ball, right? Because you are way past knowing it's a ball. So you're taking this stuff in. You've been using your brain. You've been expanding your mind. I can see you thinking right now, right? And you're loving hearing new information and having new thoughts. But if you haven't done this before, if this is completely new information to you before, besides your ego giving you an ass kicking right now, going, don't do it, don't take away my ball, everything I've ever believed, it's all fake, oh my God, Star Wars can't happen. You're besides having that battle, you're actually having to use your brain to understand what I'm saying, and it hurts because you've never used your brain before.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, up until maybe 4 years ago, when I started listening to podcasts and delving deep on, and I've always been a conspiratory person at heart since I was a little kid, and always craved knowledge. Not when I was in school, when I was out of school, I always craved knowledge. I want to learn something. And
isn't it fun? Isn't it fun to learn something that's real than to believe total nonsense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when I heard flat earth, they had been bouncing around for many years now. And I was like, oh, I was one of them. And up until the lockdowns, hell, I'm prior Air Force. I didn't even believe chemtrails. And now I'm like, oh no, they're real. And if NASA's lying about X, Y, and Z and Z, Y, and X, yeah, they can completely be lying that we live on a ball. And the biggest thing is, like you were saying, it's an ego thing, because you have to step back like I did, because it does fracture the way you were indoctrinized. And I don't know why flat earth does this to so many people. It's the only topic out there. You can talk aliens, you can talk religion to different degrees, but the moment you bring up flat earth, people just shut down.
Yeah, it's because of the programming. We were programmed to laugh at flat earth. We were programmed what flat earth is, which it really isn't. Most people think flat earth is a disc floating in space, right? And that's because we were programmed, because every time there's a mainstream article about it, they show us this image right here of a disc floating in space, right? And so every mainstream piece will do that. This is not what flat earth is. This is ridiculous. Okay. So, And people don't like having their entire worldview ripped out from underneath them.
No,
So
it scares them.
yeah, it's scary, but once you let it go and you understand where you are, you're in a much better place. You have no foundation spinning in space. You're out of control. Right now, I'm looking at you. Your backdrop is that called the Mandela? What is that? The design you have?
It was actually a hand created by a personal artist for
Yeah,
the show. But yeah,
I forget the exact name. Well, yeah, whatever it is. But there's so much information like in these designs that like I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, there's a whole rabbit hole there. I could spend days just going into.
There's 9 eyes looking at you.
Yeah, to all that stuff. But what people don't realize is signs and symbols and shapes and colors, rule the world. That's how the real communication is done, right? Words are just spells with spelling, right? So there's a lot to it, man. So what, and the thing is, it's such a fascinating world. Like if I take a walk in nature, everything I see is different from what I used to think it was. I now know what I'm not seeing for sure, what things are. When I go into New York City, I see Tatarian buildings. I see stuff that's mud flooded. I see stuff that we couldn't build today. And I see giant doorways and giant windows. Like, why are they so big? Why did these people with horses and buggies build doorways 20 feet tall? Right?
Yeah. And then that leads into the World's Fairs.
Oh, absolutely. Are you a John Levy fan?
Yes. And my one buddy, Matt from The Great Deception, has been doing a lot of digging on the World's Fairs and bringing some good information there too. So
in my app here, if you go to the more resources page, which is this one, right here on the right, mud floods, tons of information there. Click that button and up will come all sorts of stuff. Some John Levy videos, other ones, and go there, watch some videos, and subscribe to those channels. And then you'll have even more videos to watch. That button alone will fill up your year. Okay. So amazing stuff. And when you start looking into it, you realize that this realm that we live on is not what they told us. And there's so much more to it. There you go. You got it. You said you had it for 2 years. Did you update your app today? There's new version, new stuff on the app today.
You
did not.
Know. I don't think I did.
If you go in the friend finder, it goes. Let's just let it load for a second. Then the dots, you can now see who has profiles. You can see who's active in the community. There's all sorts of stuff. You can see, the orange dots are newer people. The dots that have a little chat head in them, they've filled out profiles. So if you're looking for, looking around and see who's near you, you can actually see and get some profiles and contact the people. You can tap on any dot and send a message to the person, and the app is bringing us together. So it's a great way to find.
It did update.
Yeah,
I'm seeing it now.
Yes. Oh no, you'll see those dots. Do you have this button right here in your friend finder? Do you have this button?
That button shows it says 0.
Yeah, so that's your rated. That button's now over here, the radius counter. So you need to update. Okay. This button here will show you your referral code, and that way, when you tell someone about the app, just have them put in the referral code when the app loads, and then you start getting your app will keep track of how many people you woke up. So at the end of the year, you can be like, wow, I woke up 25 people. That's pretty cool. You can actually feel good about that, because what do flat earthers like to do other than wake up other people, show people where they live, break people out of the matrix? What do flat earthers do? We unplug people from the matrix, right? So this way, when you're looking at the map, you can go, hey, there's a shark pretty close to me. That person's really active. I wanted to do some activism. I'm going to reach out to that person, right? And then you can start meeting up with people, and you can say, hey, this person's very active. There's a whole bunch of things it does, but I'm not here to sell apps. I'm here to wake up people. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the app is literally the simplest way to wake people up.
And I'm actually glad we're talking about it, because I did want to bring it up, because the first time I ever heard you, I was like, dude, I got $3.99 is less than I've spent $3.99 on
$2.99.
Oh, now it's $2.99.
Wait, where are you? Where are you located?
Pennsylvania.
It's $3 American, $2.99.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was
Yeah.
$2.99. I don't know why
Yeah.
$3.99 stuck in my head.
The $3.99 is a ripoff. $2.99, that's a deal.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, that's pocket change. You know what I mean? So I bought it, and I would look at it now and again, but maybe you could break down and a little bit better way of, okay, what exactly am I like right now? You see the hour hands. I see.
Yeah, let me show you
with this zodiac and what have you. And
so let me show you. First thing is, when you Google flat Earth, you get the information, disinformation that the government wants. They you can Google one of my videos by name, or one of a stranger's guide to flat Earth 21 questions, millions of views, suppressed video, and it won't come up. It'll come up with crap videos. You could Google, hey, top 10 reasons the Earth is flat, and there's plenty of videos on it, but only top 10 reasons that the Earth is a globe will come up. And you'll get, not Professor Dave, the child who's pretending to be a professor, his videos, which are all straw man, nonsense videos. So every day on the app, a new video will show up here. And this is the challenge I tell people. I say, I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof, but you have to watch the video every day for 2 weeks. Short ones during the week, longer ones on the weekend usually. And at the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, let me know. But before you do, you have to hit the question mark. Here are the top questions. And if your question like, oh, what about eclipses? If I click what about eclipses, up comes a playlist of videos showing me about eclipses. And I'll be like, oh, I guess eclipses don't prove the Earth is a globe. Let me try another one. And so tons and tons and tons of information there. That's like just one of the things that the app does. The other thing is,
just to verify, 3 Bitcoins.
3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. I'm not worried.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I could offer 100 Bitcoins, but I don't have 100 Bitcoins. All right. And I'm offering 3 because there are no globe proof. I'm not giving away 3 Bitcoins. I'm cheap. Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's, just for those of you that don't know, the sun is the hour hand. Mm-hmm. The sun goes around once every 24 hours. Wherever the sun is, it's noon, right? If I turn the time zones on, you'll see that the time zone noon swings with it. So here are all the time zones, right? Yep. And the sun will lap the moon every 28 days. So you'll see that the sun's getting farther away, the moon's waxing, and then it'll start waning as it starts catching up. Well, 28 days. There used to be 13 moons of 28 days, all right? But they hijacked our calendar. And the stars, if I turn the stars on, the stars do the same thing. They all go in the same direction. They all rise in the east, set in the west, no matter where you are on Earth, okay? And the stars will lap the sun once a year. So they lap, it takes 365 laps for them to lap the sun once. That means that the sun will move backwards through each zodiac for about a month at a time. And after 365 laps, we'll be right back to where we are. Go out tonight in this nonsensical beehive, solar system, and look at the stars, mark where they are, sitting at a certain spot. And next year, same night, same time, go out and look at your star chart, and every single star will be in the exact same position, even though we're 4.5 billion miles from where we were last year. All the stars are moving in their own directions. There's no parallax. None of it changes. Okay. Right. Yeah. It's absolute insanity. So did I answer your question?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just, like a basic rundown.
Yeah.
Of it. But
let me show you. It's just seasons real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The inner yellow line is the Tropic of Cancer. The outer yellow line is the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay.
Okay.
When the sun, like if you and I were standing outside on a street where we have street lights going down, and I'm standing under one street light and you're standing under one a quarter of a mile down the road, both of the street lights are the same distance over our heads, but you're going to see yours straight up above you. You're pointing up there. It's up there. Mm-hmm. You're going to see mine down there, lower in the sky, right, farther away. Well, the one over your head is your summer sun. The one over my head is my summer sun and your winter sun. So let me jump forward to June, April, May, June. So in June, it's really hot in Miami. You know why? Because the sun goes right over Miami.
Mm.
Okay. It's hot in Southern California, Texas. It's warm here where we are. I'm in Connecticut, right? it's winter in Australia. In southern Australia, it's cold, right? Northern Australia, it's not too bad. But you know why? Because the area in between the Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer is called the tropics. That's where all the tropical places are, because any place in that area, the sun will cross over your head twice a year. It migrates 6 months in and 6 months out. And if you're in the tropics, the sun will cross over twice. If you're in the Arctic area, anything inside this circle, it only comes towards me once, and then it goes away and doesn't come back for a whole year. If you're outside the Tropic of Capricorn, you're in the Antarctic area, the sun will come towards you, it'll stop, and then it'll go away again. It doesn't cross over twice. That's why we have these temperate zones out here. So 6 months later, let me jump forward. It moves out to the Tropic of Capricorn. It's now farther away from you and I. We have our winter. Australia will have its summer because the sun goes right over the center of Australia. Makes perfect sense. It makes no sense. So let me run this by you. Okay. So if you're someplace in the world and at one point during the day, the sun is directly over you, so there's no shadow. You have no shadow because the sun is directly over you. That can only happen on places in between the tropics, right? So let's say you're in Miami, wherever, Hawaii, and the sun is directly over you. There's no shadow. What angle, and you're standing upright. So what angle is that sun to you? It's 90 degrees above your head, right? 90 degrees to your floor. Okay. So at sunrise, when you see the sun just sitting on the edge of the horizon, what angle is that sun to you?
Parallel.
Well, it's 1 degree, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90 above you. Yep. It's 1 degree. Now they tell us that the sun rays are all coming in parallel, which is nonsense because they never do. And they tell us when the northern hemisphere is tipped away from the sun, those sun rays spread out over a wider area. And that's why we have our winter. Right? Right. That's what they tell us, because the sun rays are coming in, they spread out. It's not as concentrated. Hey, that makes sense. It does. It kind of does. Right. But it really doesn't. But we'll just pretend it does. Well, did you know that during our northern winter, we're 3.5 million miles closer to the sun than we are during our summer?
I was just going to say that because when you said that, I was like, wait a minute. I always thought in the winter we were actually supposedly closer.
Right. But that doesn't matter because it's only a small percentage of such a vast difference. So the difference, this is Glober talk. The difference doesn't matter. It's the angle, right? Because a sun ray coming in direct covers, let's say my finger is a sun ray and this area, let's just call it 100 square miles. If I tilted it, that sun ray is going to spread over 300 square miles. So it's 1/3 of the heat intensity, right? And that's how they explain seasons. However, in June, and you're not too far from me, in June, when I go out to the ocean and I see the sunrise, as soon as I see the sun appear on the horizon, I can feel the heat on my face. I can feel that heat from a 1 degree. That's a 89 degree tilt away from the sun. And it's skimming across the earth in the worst possible distribution of energy. I can feel that heat on my face. I can get a tan. I can absorb vitamin D. I can get warm. Then in December, on a clear day, when the sun is at its highest point at noon that day, let's say it's 50 degrees in the sky, that is a much more direct angle to the sun. It's also 3.5 million miles closer, which doesn't matter in globe world. Okay. Right. And I don't even feel the heat on my face. I can't get a tan. I'm not getting any vitamin D. That makes zero sense. That alone, seasons, that alone proves the globe model is 100% baloney. Right there. And that's something I explained to not Professor Dave, and he couldn't understand it. Either there's two options. One, he's too stupid, indoctrinated, locked into his globe model where he couldn't understand that. Or two, he's a purposeful liar. I'm not sure which one he is.
And when you say feel like today, I'm going to assume the weather was fairly like it is here. We hit just about 70 degrees today. And
beautiful day.
Standing in that, I could feel the sun hitting on me. And like now, like, my skin, I think I got a little, sun today. Not that I got a bad sunburn or
were
anything.
you wearing sunglasses?
I was.
If you don't wear sunglasses, your skin won't burn to a point.
To a
Okay, you can
point.
go out and say the problem is when you wear sunglasses, it's lying to your brain, and your brain doesn't know how bright it is, and your body doesn't produce melatonin to protect you from the sun.
No shit.
Yeah, and if you
See,
put
and I always-
suntan lotion on, right? What do they tell you? Everything is friggin' backwards in this world. The earth is flat. No, it's a globe, right? People are standing upside down to me in Australia. Suntan protects you from getting skin cancer. Read the ingredients on suntan lotion. It is the most carcinogenic stuff that you are putting on your skin that causes cancer. And sun gives you vitamin D. What does vitamin D do?
Builds your immune.
It builds your
system.
immune, avoids cancer, right?
Mhm.
It's the opposite. And when you put on sunglasses, you will burn. If you don't have sunglasses, now, if you're white and you go out in the middle of the day and you stay out in the sun all day long, your skin's going to overcook a little bit. But I need to find two twins that are completely white that are willing to go out in the sun all day. One of them wears sunglasses, one of them doesn't, and we'll see the difference. I need someone that's willing to sacrifice themselves for a day.
See, it's hard for me to not wear sunglasses because I have blue eyes. So
I have blue eyes too. Come on.
Doesn't that hurt your eyes even more?
So here's the thing. They because you've been wearing sunglasses, you're weak. Your eyes are weak, right? So here's what you do.
My whole life.
You study sun gazing. Well, what is sun gazing? You look at the sun, yeah, it's going to hurt. Like if I said, hey, you've never been to the gym, go to the gym and bench press 350 pounds, you're probably going to hurt yourself. Okay. Yeah. So go and watch the sunrise or watch the sunset. And the last 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes of the day, you can find that you can kind of look at the sun and it doesn't hurt. Stare at the sun with your feet grounded. Look at the sun. And one, it's way more than this, but you're literally getting nutrition from the sun, right? Yes. Your eyes, when I first started sun gazing at the last, 10 minutes before sunset, I could only look at it for like 2 or 3 seconds before I'd have to whoa, it hurts. Now I can stare at the sun for 2 hours before sunset and not even blink. Okay. Oh, wow. And it'll feed your body. It'll give you so much energy. We're all part of this system, and our eyes take in. You ever heard of breatharians, right? People that, basically live off of sunlight and air. This is something that they're hiding from us. They don't want us to know this information. But if you do that over a short period of time, you can do it this summer. If you do it 2-3 times a week, all of a sudden you'll be like, wow, it's an hour before sunset and I can really stare at the sun.
I'm going to have to start doing this because I've heard Crow 777 talk about doing this in moderation, and I think I've heard you say it before too.
Well, he always mentions me when he talks about it too. Yeah. So, but him and I, the biggest problem that we have and that you'll have is most of the sunsets are screwed up by the chemtrails.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on? I wrote down moon when we were discussing the sun. The moon has been weird lately. Have you noticed that?
Do tell.
It's there. It's not there. All of a sudden, it laps the sun quicker than it's supposed to. I don't know. Like me and Moral Bob were talking about this. I think just last weekend, and even this morning. There for like a week or I think even last week. You could see the moon during the day, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. It's like what the.
Well, so also the brightness, the closeness to the sun, a little bit of clouds will hide the moon. I'll take the baller side here. But one thing about the app is you look at it and go, oh, the moon's right up in the sky. It should be right there. Oh, there it is. And you would never have looked. So I think any opportunity that you have to look at the moon and acknowledge its existence is an acknowledgement to yourself. Okay. So is the moon moving too quick? Is it in the wrong place? Is it oriented wrong? It's above my ability to study at this time, but there's a lot of people looking into it. I've heard a lot of things. There's times where I've seen them like, why is the moon so far over that way? I've never seen it over there. Right. I don't know. Do I believe that it's possible? Absolutely. Because it's not a giant rock falling around the earth in such a perfect orbit that we know where it's going to be everywhere. That's ridiculous. Could it be doing something else? Yes. Is it doing something else? I don't know. I haven't had the time or the tools to check it.
Gotcha. No, it was just one of those things that popped in my head when we were talking. I don't know. I'm by far the smartest man on sky watching and what have you. But it is fascinating. Just every now and again, you'll just notice those small little things. Like one morning, like in the winter or whatever, you'll be driving to work and it's dark, and all of a sudden, there's no clouds, and you're like, man, it's really bright, and you look up and the moon is just full, and you almost don't even need your headlights. It's so bright. And then sometimes, like lately, it just seems to be really dim. I don't know, but it could be the chemtrails. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues, but one thing we know for sure, the moon isn't 238,000 miles away, or else it wouldn't light up just the clouds that are near it, right?
That's true.
I think that the moon that we see is not a physical object at all, and we all see the moon and the sun and the stars relative to our own position, right? You're literally, it's kind of what's the word? Not manifesting into you, personal to you. It's rendering. Okay. It's rendering in your world. Like if you and I were at the beach 20 yards apart watching the sunset, you're going to see the sun walking on the water to your feet. I'm going to see it walking on the water to my feet. I look over to you. I don't see yours. You don't see mine. When you're driving in a car, the sun and the moon follow you. It's because it's repositioning itself relative to you, right?
I used to be fascinated by that as a kid.
Yeah, right. Well, like, oh, it's just because it's so far away, it's parallax, right? And some of that's true, but I don't think that the sun and the moon that we see are physical at all, right? Here's the thing I call my sky sheet. This kind of explains how this might be. So let's see. So this is the sun. What is this? Well, this is a sheet, which is my sky, and there's a flashlight 10 feet on the other side of it. And it really looks like a sun. So when I set it up, I'm like, wow. And so my girlfriend's over to the left of me, and I said, where do you see the sun? And she goes, oh, right there. And I'm like, well, I see it over here. I move the camera over to where she is. That's where she sees the sun. At the same time, I see the sun right there. So we're seeing the same sun in two different positions in our sky at the same time.
And both, it's straight in front of you.
It's straight in front of me.
From your perspectives.
So what does that mean? So let me pull up a video, because this is interesting. Have you ever seen my eclipse video?
I think so.
All right.
One of my favorite videos is, I don't even remember the name of the podcast that you were on.
What was it?
You basically, I don't know, but you totally schooled the one guest with when you had the solar panel. And you just flipped everything.
Oh, yeah.
I love, man. I was like, yeah. And the dude's just like, speechless. Like,
yes,
like, I have no budget.
Yeah. So this right here, we said, how easy for NASA to fool you. Where's the land? Right? Yeah. Where's the land? Right? Well, I see the curvature. I'm like, no, you don't. Where's the land? Well, they're over the middle of the ocean, and really, we're not. We're standing in our front yard. Oops, I got two things going at once here. We're standing in our front yard, and we just turn the camera upside down. Right?
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. That just shows you how easy it is to deceive. Right. Well, why this is going, let's talk about this. This is the external tank from the space shuttle. It weighs 40,000 pounds empty. How come it's not falling like this guy? This is Felix doing his space jump. Look how fast he's falling. How come this isn't falling? Guess what this is being filmed by? This is being filmed by the guys in the shuttle that are on their way to space. So not only is this falling, they're rocketing to space at 20,000 miles an hour. Okay? Right? So is this falling? Well, your schooling, your indoctrination will tell you that it is falling, but really look at it. To me, it's more like a Macy's Day Parade balloon, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's floating.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, well, that's because that's what it's doing. It's floating. It's filled with helium. These rocket ships are filled with helium. Right. If you look, this is the space shuttle. This is a helium balloon. This is a balloon. There's nobody in here. It's a rocket assisted helium balloon. Right. And can you see the wobble in this one? That's blowing in the wind. It's moving around like a friggin' bouncy house. Okay.
I was just gonna. I'm like, is that wobbling or is that just?
Yeah. Here's another view. Look, it's wobbling. This weighs 4 million pounds, and it's blowing around in the wind like it's filled with helium.
And then right behind your shoulder is where one of the braces supposedly breaks away, and then it's
I have it looped. I have it looped. I have it looped.
But if those braces are there, how is it wobbling? You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't wobble if it was
even if it's not there. 4 million pounds doesn't wobble. When 4 million pounds starts to wobble, it keeps on going. Yeah, it falls, right? And then the reason it turns upside down is because the helium orange tank is the lightest part. That's why it goes upside down. And I was, it's so cool. It flies upside down and backwards, It's all absolute and total nonsense. And just for those of you that are like, well, what happened to the Challenger crew? The one where they trauma-based mind controlled everybody. Every kid had a television brought into the classroom.
I was one of them.
Yeah. This is nonsense. All of them have twins that work for universities that have the same name. And none of those twins showed up at any of their funerals.
No.
Yeah.
I just saw a video yesterday of the guy in the bottom left corner.
Dick Scobie. No, that's Dick Scobie. This guy. Go ahead.
Yep. And a guy was confronting him. And he's like, oh, it's ridiculous.
No, I think it was this name. I thought it was this guy. Maybe it was him.
And he's like, no, I get emails all the time about it. It's just ridiculous. You can see where I was born. And like he could not back up what the guy was asking. He was just totally trying to snowball an answer.
Right.
And why he's like, yeah, we looked like when we were younger, but you can't, not now. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, they've got nothing. They're liars. They're liars, unfortunately. And we respected them. Oh my God, astronauts are they're
heroes.
Like, they're
Every
heroes.
kid wants to be one.
And you have to let them go. You have to let it go. They're liars, right? Except Don Pettit. He might actually think he went to space because he's completely retarded.
What's your take on was it Buzz Aldrin threatened to punch somebody or did punch somebody in the face?
Bart Sibrel was trying to get people to swear that they went to the moon for $5,000 cash, and then none of them will do it. No. Right? Swear that you walked on the moon. Put your hand on the Bible, swear you walked on the moon, I'll give you $5,000. And they wouldn't do it. That's weird.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like $5,000, I can donate it to a kid's charity. Okay. Yeah, I walked on the moon. Thank you. I swear to God, I walked on the moon. Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Yeah, that's another rabbit hole you can go down. I don't even buy that.
So what do you think about these rocket landings now, where they land upright? Have you watched those?
In my humble opinion, fake as fuck.
Oh, the humble opinion, that's like a 2-year-old could make that humble opinion. Right. This is one that just happened the other day.
And why do they look like dicks?
Yeah, well, that's my joke is I go, look at this giant dick went up in space, and I go, and the rocket looks like a dick too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my little joke. So here it is falling out of the sky. It's 40,000 pounds empty. It's falling out of the sky. These little fin pads are steering it to land on a little raft 200 miles off the Florida coast. Okay.
Well,
first,
I have a problem with those fin pads.
Yeah.
Why are they not solid?
Well, because they're steering the air. They're turning and they're funneling the air. Okay.
Well, if you look at any aircraft, your ailerons and stabilizers are solid to control that, not hollow or webbed.
Listen, the aircrafts don't land upright, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Where's your degree? Okay. What is everybody lying? Okay. So this thing's falling, right? First of all, if you've ever been out in the ocean, how many days is the ocean calm and at rest? Almost zero. There's always swells, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to land a pencil, right? This thing's, I think it's like 100, 200 feet tall. Okay. It weighs 40,000 pounds. It's going to land on this little raft. And so here's the video from the raft. Normally the camera goes out just before it lands. Here it is falling. It's going for a bullseye. Oh, look, here it comes. That little flame is stopping it and it lands. But look what happened. They had a glitch. Do you see this? See this frame? I'll zoom in on it. Okay. So as it came down, they had a glitch in their nonsense CGI. Look, watch this frame. See that? What
Right
is
there.
this? What's going on there? Look at that.
Those fuckers.
Yeah. This is showing you that this is a layered film. I don't know why it's just this square. I don't know how it works, but you can see the rocket, it doesn't even line up. Like there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse other than they're faking it, right?
Always.
Crazy. And here's one. Let's see what this one's doing.
That looks like a giant anal probe.
Yeah. So this one's going up. And so we got almost a little bit of a curve. And now we have concave Earth. And then we have, curved Earth. Okay. And the announcer always says, let's watch this landing. I haven't seen this one. The announcer always says, you can see the curve of the Earth. So it's not showing anything coming, right? And here it comes. Some vibrations. It must be coming. Right? Here it comes. Some pixelation. The camera froze. Of Course I Still Love You is the name of the ship. They'll cut away. There's no problem getting the signal from up here, concave Earth. No problem getting this signal. Let's switch back to the drone ship. It landed. Yay. And everyone's clapping, right? This is ridiculous. This is nonsense. How come this camera on the ship, which has no problem filming it all the way up, how come that cuts out? Only the one on the ship cuts out because of vibration.
Yeah.
Okay. These are Glober, nonsensical, complete and total bullshit. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to swear, right? Normally it comes down. The camera cut out. There it is. That's what we just saw, actually.
Yep.
Right. And people believe this complete and total nonsense.
It's everything on TV is to be believed. Everything on the internet. You can't believe that.
Right. Here's a launch. This was from last year. Or actually pretty recently. Something went wrong. Right. It's supposed to be going up, and look,
what the fuck?
It's going sideways. Right. So I'll show you again. It's going sideways. The cameraman, they're just talking like they're reading their script. They're ignoring what's going on. So the cameraman's now looking for it in the distance. So change camera views because edit. Where is it? It's coming. Where is it? There it is. It's going. Look at this thing. This is a rocket-assisted helium balloon. This thing. Now it's in space. Yay! Made it to space. You can tell it's in space because of this. Now it's free falling. It's falling apart. Things are breaking on it. And you know what? Let's just cut back to the launch pad and pretend that everything's fine. And they cut back, and this is all you see. And everyone's talking like, successful rocket, successful launch.
I have never seen a rocket do that.
Yeah. And
how does it go sideways?
Well, because it didn't. the little firework that's on the rocket didn't work. Right. 1950s Russian movie shows a rocket landing on a raft. And this is Elon Musk landing a rocket. Now, this is a day, if it's bigger, you can see it. It's blowing 25 to 30 knots out there. The waves are 5, 10, 15-foot rollers. You couldn't stand on that raft. Okay.
No.
How is this thing falling out of the sky? Not drifting in the wind, landing on a heaving raft, right? Upright, right? This thing's top heavy.
You talk to any Navy pilot, and they will say, I would much rather land on land than try to land on a carrier. Yes, they can point the carrier with the wind and everything. He said, but the Navy pilots that I talked to when I was in the Air Force, they said you can't account for the swells. You know what I mean? He goes, you can have a perfect approach, and then the next thing you know, that ship is dropping.
But what you don't understand, these Navy guys are talking about coming in laterally on an airplane. This is falling from space, landing vertically, so you don't have to worry about those swells. And the reason they do it in the ocean, it's because of the orbital paths of where the rocket's going, and they really can't land it on the land for two reasons. One, because it's not near land, and two, it wouldn't be safe. Okay, this is Glober talk. I'm just being a Glober, right? This is the crap that they make up. And people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Right. And then when you watch these launches, edit, like 6 edits before it even leaves the launch pad. Let me let me. I'll look for. I gotta look for another video. This is the Go Fast rocket out of Arizona.
Is this the one that hit the firmament?
Yes, but they didn't. No cuts. Beautiful. No cuts whatsoever. It went up 72 miles, and all of a sudden it went kerplunk into like plasma, and it floated really weird. And it made a weird noise. And NASA, later comes out with, oh, we have this yo-yo anti-spin device that no one's ever seen because we made them make up a dumb excuse. But when it goes on the side, you'll see the moon, and the moon is over Australia. So we're in Arizona. The moon's in Australia underneath the ball.
Like a pretty flat line to me.
Yeah, that too. They're launching here, and the moon is over here. Okay, so if the Earth was a basketball and Arizona is on the top of the basketball, that rocket went like a fraction of a millimeter over the basketball, and the moon is underneath the basketball. There's no way you can see it unless the Earth is flat.
Man, they have done such a great job at brainwashing everybody.
Yeah,
and I admit from right from the beginning, I used to be one of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's young government schooling.
Here is the penis rocket, and watch when it ignites, how many cuts there are. Cut. There's one. So we got one cut there. All right, ready? Engine's lit. Right, and I think it keeps track right here. Edit 2. All right. Edit 4. Edit 5. Where's that camera? Okay. And then you see
the drone.
Yeah. Edit 6. Right? What the hell's going on here? Okay. Absolute nonsense.
That's the only way they can get anything by anybody is by doing that.
And there was a glitch right here. Watch. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
CGI glitch. It's not real. Right. No one's on there. Right. And what about William Shatner? Is he lying? Yep. He's lying. Right.
He's a great actor.
Here's Shatner shot up in that. He's like, oh, we're floating in space. Right. This is done in a 0G plane or even a studio. This is probably done in a 0G plane. Just they have a set building an airplane and everyone's holding on and edit. Why didn't they show us all 4.5 minutes of them floating? Okay. Right. But it's always like, and then everyone's changing positions, right? It makes no sense whatsoever.
And if it was that great of an experience, where was his cell phone to take pictures of this?
Oh, they said, don't bring your cell phone. Enjoy the experience. Don't waste it taking pictures.
Right. So you can't remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So,
and
then when it came down, right? Look how laterally this thing is moving. It's moving sideways, really. It's moving sideways. Now it's going straight down. And then watch this impact. Okay. It slams into the ground. Slams into the ground.
And this had people on it.
Yeah. And then when they show up, no EMS, no doctors, no nothing. Just a couple of SpaceX people, Jeff Bezos, right? And a couple wives, and they're all clapping and cheering. No EMS. Nobody's checking to see if they're okay. 94-year-old man, whoever old Shatner is, they just come out like just these random people here. Yay, high fives. We're all okay. Nobody goes in there to see if they're okay. You hit the ground that hard, and it always lands not on a bush. There's little bushes all over the place, but it always finds a perfect spot to land.
Well,
okay.
Why did they stop doing that landing in the ocean?
Because
supposedly that's where the Apollo missions would land.
Yeah.
And that makes a little bit more sense.
Because when it lands, there's no steam puff, and they can't explain how this burning hot rocket can land in the ocean without any steam, or they're too dangerous. Well, now they can land on land. It's cheaper, Yeah,
with the same 3 freaking parachutes that they used supposedly, with the
Apollo shit. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Here I just remembered where I have it. Blue Origin. So this was a launch from the other day. Now watch. Literally watch the number of edits. 1, 2, hasn't left yet. 3, 4. Okay, now it's moving. And 5 just before it cleared. 5 edits before it landed. Okay. So look, this little flame is making this thing go up. There's 6 civilians on here. Okay. 6 civilians. Right now. No, look, wait, did you see that? Yeah. It goes over the land twice. Right. Watch it. It's going up. Some glitch there. So did I not go back? Two different edits. It cleared the land twice. All right. Huh. Let me go back and show that. I don't know why I can't do that. All right. So here it goes. So here we go above the horizon. Great. Next camera angle. Look at the angle to the camera. Oh, it cleared the horizon again.
There we go again.
Okay. This is live. So now this thing's going up. I'm going to speed forward. This little light, this little light here is pushing this thing into space. There's no smoke trail, right? Think about the space shuttles and stuff, right? Where's the smoke trail? What fuel are they using? This little light. What is this? What is this? A ion drive from Star Trek, right? Exactly. This little light, this little thing is going up. There's 6 civilians on here. Wait, this is going to get good. So it's going up. Then it has separation. Everybody claps. And now these things are free falling out of the sky. I'm fast forwarding. Look, it's got its air brakes on, right? These little tabs up here are called air brakes, right? And watch this landing. Okay. It's coming down. Now look at the angle. This thing is free falling. How come the angle isn't changing from the camera? What is going on here? Okay. Is this thing even moving? Look at it wobbling. Wait, what's making it wobble? And these are called the air brakes, these little things, right? I don't know what's going on there. This little thing is going to have a little fire come out and it's going to keep it upright. It's not going to flip over. What happens when you light a little rocket without anything stabilizing it? It flips over. Look, it goes. Look, edit. We don't see anything, right? It's coming down. Wait for the CGI smoke, right? There's the smoke. Look at it. Edit.
And that
can't really see. And yay, it landed. Look, almost a bullseye. A bullseye. Now, it landed. Now you have the capsule coming down, okay? Let's watch the capsule coming down. So here's the capsule coming down. Again, looks just like the one from the other day. Yeah. It's clearly going sideways. It's moving. Now it's going down, okay? How did that thing free fall and land? Look, it's going sideways, clearly, right? You got a helicopter. There's several helicopters here. But when all the people get out, you don't hear any helicopters, even though there's footage of the helicopters, right? Where are these helicopters? And watch this landing, okay? I wouldn't say anybody would be hurt. I'd say they'd all be dead, okay? Watch this landing, right? Look at all these bushes. Bam.
Oh, shit.
And no EMS, just a whole bunch of people that show up, clap, applaud, right? And all of it was moving sideways. How come all of the parachutes don't all go one way? They all just lay out perfectly.
And they only caught, I was going to point out, they only caught 1 parachute, but they only caught 2 out of the 3.
Right. And you never see the third one because there is no third one. Right. And look, you got one line going this way, one line going that way. Right. And it's always so beautifully done. Right. It wouldn't, parachutes don't go that way. It wouldn't fall that way. So you got a helicopter spinning around, people waving in the window, right? And again, didn't land on a bush. It always finds a perfect spot, okay?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the cars show up. And if you analyze the cars, they keep changing positions. They're not even in the right positions. And they're waiting. Let me just go a little forward. And they pull up the door. Everybody comes out. High fives. Everyone's good. No EMS workers again. I ran a school fair. We had to have an EMS truck there all the time in case somebody got hurt, okay? Do you think anyone can get hurt being slingshotted up into space? Now they had 4.5 minutes of free time of zero gravity. 4.5 minutes. Well, don't you think there'll be some cameras on there? Where is the 4.5 minutes? Let me show you all that they show us. Okay. And I wish I could play the sound. All right. So there you go with that. Let me just end this. And it's just a whole big thing. So this is a 50-second video. Try to count the cuts. Okay. And watch where the people, there's a cut. Watch where the people are. There's a cut. All right.
Oh,
Another
I gotta
cut.
make out with you first.
Yeah, another cut. Look, this is clearly they're doing tricks on a zero-G plane. And if you could hear the dialogue, they're, oh, whoa, right? It's like being on a zero-G plane. These noises, but watch. So this guy's in the middle. Now he's over here, right? Are you counting the cuts? I've lost track already.
I lost track too.
Yeah, another cut. They're on a zero-G plane, and they did a whole bunch of edits. What this camera? How come it doesn't show? Where's the footage from this camera? Okay. Yay. And you can tell, like this one, the group shot, like, hurry up. We got 12 seconds of zero-G. Quickly, everybody. Right. And these people, like this guy's getting like, how many times are we going to do this? Right. How many times are we going to do this? So there you go. Complete and total nonsense.
Utter nonsense.
Utter nonsense. So what else do you want to tap on? We're over the hour.
I believe we had 90.
All right,
90,
let's go. Let's go 90 minutes. I thought we had an hour.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to wrap up, we can.
No, I'm good. Listen, I can go for freaking hours and hours. There's this is, this is just, it's so ridiculous at this point. I don't know why everyone isn't awake, and is it ego? Right. Is it they're afraid? Because I guess it's scary knowing that your whole world is a lie, but once you know it, I would never go back in the Matrix. So no one's going to become Cypher and take the blue pill, right?
No.
I often say, I want my steak, I want my mansion. Put me back in the Matrix, but that's not true. I don't. It's boring in there.
No, hell yeah.
It's boring.
The more you wake up to anything, I shouldn't say everything, because I believe you're always going to be in a constant state of learning.
Yeah.
But the more you wake up and the more you discover and the more you challenge, what you were taught or programmed, however you want to take it, the more enlightened you actually feel. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, I don't have, that burden of, okay, I have to think this way because that way I fit in with society and the norms. You know what I mean? Who cares? You know what I mean? This episode, I know I have friends that listen and I can't even with flat Earth. I get it, but at the same time,
I was that guy. I was.
Yeah, I was that too. We
all were.
I bought into the Q thing pretty hard. I bought into a lot of things, and I took a step back and was like, you know what? Just like it says in my little bio, what if everything that we thought is true just might not be? You know what I mean?
They say, there's nothing we could show you flat earthers where you'll ever change your mind. Well, that's half true because there is no proof of the globe and you won't change your minds. But you're the one, you globers that accuse us of that are the ones that won't change your mind. We were globers. We had to lay down our ego. We had to change our knowledge based on new information. Okay. There's something like if something is placed out as truth, but the longer it hasn't been proven, the more you have to realize that it's probably not true.
Right.
Okay. And so, satellites, nonsense, the globe, there's no proof of the globe. Where's the proof of the globe? I still got my 3 Bitcoins. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the proof? Where's the curvature?
Here's the other thing. And for the listeners out there, most of you that do listen to this podcast probably are on the same mindset that the moon landing was fake, okay? And that was NASA propaganda.
Yeah.
So is the globe Earth. It's all NASA propaganda.
So what happened was when they started looking into Antarctica and they found out that there's more land, there's more resources, there's stuff going on out there. And the Admiral Byrd went on television saying there's more land bigger than the United States filled with resources. Meanwhile, we're having wars for resources and land. All of a sudden, this opens up, and all of a sudden they say, Antarctic Treaty. And then all of the countries that are at war with each other all sign the same treaty. It's still in effect today. Longest treaty ever. But we can go into the Amazon and burn that down, the lungs of our world, but we can't go explore where no people are, no animals are, no problem, right?
Right.
And then, people are going to start to get curious. Wait, we're going to the moon. Look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here. We're going to the moon, someplace that we can't go, right? You know the movie Jaws? Remember Jaws? Of course you remember Jaws. Have you watched it in the last, 10 years?
No, I can't get myself to watch.
It's crap. It's horrible. It's hard. You could show it to a 5-year-old and they wouldn't be scared because it's so fake, right? the moon landings don't hold up that well. Jaws holds up better than the moon landings. If you just take the time and look at the moon landings, for example, in the app, if I hit the images button and we look right here at the lander, look at this thing. Look at this thing.
Tinfoil,
paper mache, curtain rods, scotch tape, not even masking tape. Okay.
Right.
It's look at this. It's supposed to be airtight. There's 2 men wearing diapers in there, and it's got to take off and fly later. Okay. This thing, I mean, a homeless person wouldn't live in there. Right. Yeah. But when you start looking and you start putting down your ego and you start understanding your position in this world, it's such an amazing place. You flat earthers just want to feel special. Actually, we are special. Okay. All of us here are special. And that's something the elite don't want you to know. They want you thinking that you're not special, that you're insignificant, that you're nobody, that you have no power, you have no choice. And we need to make our carbon footprint 0, right? Carbon is great. The more carbon, the more better the world can breathe, right?
Yeah, last I checked, don't plants and all trees feed off carbon?
Absolutely. And now they have carbon harvesters out on farmland that suck the carbon out of the air, right? And then they sequester it. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense right up there with nuclear bombs, nuclear energy. It's all complete and total lies to control your mind.
I'm still not fully sold on the nuclear thing, only because I was a weapons loader. Now, I never did load an active nuke, but we were trained to load nukes.
Absolutely. There are bombs that they can call nuclear bombs, but they're not nuclear fission. There's big bombs. There's very intense explosives, and there's probably explosives that use plutonium, right?
Because a lot of people will confuse Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're like, oh, they dropped nukes there. Those were hydrogen bombs. Those were something completely different.
Yeah, but those weren't hydrogen bombs. Those were dynamite bombs. And there's actually video of them stacking pallets and pallets and pallets of dynamite at ground zero, right? Oh. So are you a Crow 777 radio listener?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everybody, I highly recommend you subscribe to Crow with 2 R's, 777radio.com, episode 053 from, probably 2 years now. No nukes. You listen to that. And whenever you hear somebody on the news, a politician, whoever, mention nukes, you can now laugh. You can be like, oh, a nuclear threat? Oh, please, you're a joke. You are a puppet. You're a liar. You're a deceiver. You're ignorant, right? Because nukes don't exist. The whole nuke thing doesn't exist. And episode 400, which actually came out today, the day of this recording, is another nuke one. I'm halfway through it. Amazing. And here's the thing. Our health and well-being is based on how our cells feel, how our cells are doing. If you believe that nukes are real, every cell in your body is afraid of a nuclear explosion. You're afraid of looking like Sarah Connor holding onto the fence, when the nuke goes off, right? You're afraid of all of this fear that they put in you, when in fact none of it is real. And once you understand that it's not real, look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The radiation was supposed to last for thousands of years, and everyone's still living there. And Fukushima and Chernobyl, plants, people, and animals live there. There's no problem, right? It's all absolute lies. Watch those episodes. It is totally it'll change your life. When you imagine this, that I can snap my fingers and 100% prove nukes don't exist. There's no shortage of water or fuel. Energy is free. There's no overpopulation. There's no chance that an asteroid could hit us because the Earth is flat. We're not moving. We're at the center of creation. We're super creators. Nobody can control us. All of the rules that are cast over us that everybody hates aren't real, and you don't have to pay attention to them. Imagine if everybody knew that as 100% truth. How great would the world be? Well, they have everybody in this belief system of total slavery, belief that you have to work and then you have to give them 40-50% of what you earned. Like they're like the king coming around, like, oh, give me half of your goats, all right. They're doing that. But then the king is very generous. At the end of the year, he goes, you gave me you had 100 goats. I took 50. I'm going to give you 4 back. And then you're like, oh my God, that is phenomenal. I got 4 goats back at the end of the year for being a good little slave, right? That's where we live, but it's all not true, right? And once you start understanding that, and I have nothing, no financial tie to Crow 777 Radio. Don't go to school, pull your kids out of school, pull yourself out of school, and listen to Crow 777 Radio. He covers all of these topics. You will learn more useful information from listening to that every day than any, well, I don't even want to say any university, because universities are just indoctrination schools of nonsense.
Yes. And so I've said this before. It might have been on my weekly roundtable, but he is one of the smartest Marines I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. Because Marines, you know, being a vet, you know, we're allowed to dog on each other and what have you. You know, they're the notorious crayon eaters. You know, the Air Force are the notorious chair force. You know, so on and so forth. But he drops bombs. I love listening to him. And
you're Air Force guy. You're Air Force friend.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. In the app, if you hit the new button, the homeschool button where we're adding new stuff, Crow 777's right there.
Nice.
Right. And literally, if you had a kid and it said, you know, instead of going to college, you're going to listen to 2 new episodes every week and 3 old episodes every week. So 5 episodes a week. It's like having 5 courses a week. Right. And that's it. And then you're going to hike on the Appalachian Trail, and you're going to go kite surfing, and you're going to learn, learn how to kite surf, and you're going to take a cruise around the world, but you take your phone with you, and you stick to your 5 courses a week. At the end of a year, let alone 4 years, you are going to be one of the smartest people roaming this plane. Mm-hmm. Okay. If I'm hiring somebody, I'm hiring you, not a Harvard graduate, not somebody that wasted all of that time, right? You're going to know more about the functioning of this world and who we are, where we are, how we work than anyone else. You're going to be in high demand. And guess what? Absolutely. And what does college cost? Is it $8 a month? Because that's what Crow costs, $8 a month, right? That's not even a margarita. My app, the subscription, there is a subscription if you want to be able to message other people, use the weather app, or it's mostly about messaging other people. It's $11 a year. Okay. Again,
it's not a month.
Yeah, it's
less than $1 a month.
It's $11 a year. And then you're connected to the social network. You can fill out profiles and view other people's profiles if you're a subscriber. You don't have to subscribe, but I highly recommend it, because bringing together, like, once you have this knowledge, we used to say flat Earth is really lonely because you're isolated, because everyone around you is literally lost, plugged into the matrix, and you're the only one roaming around going, this place is amazing, come look. Everyone's like, no, I'm in the matrix, leave me alone. Now you can find people like on the app. I found people right in my own town, like my best buddy, right? He became my best friend. I found him in town. We met at the local pub, and here we are. Now we go on vacations together. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So again, there's people getting married. There's people having babies. There's people just becoming best friends. There's everybody. We had a meetup just in New York the other day, 60, 70, 80 people. I forget. I'm not sure how many people were there. Every single person I talked to, amazing. All the conversations, amazing. Nobody is looking at the televisions in the bar. They're just just talking to each other and having fantastic conversations. There were some guys there from the Army that were retired Army guys. Amazing stuff.
I'd like to join on one of those, because the city's only about maybe 3.5 hours from. I'm right dead center in the middle of Pennsylvania, so it's not that far. In the app, you just go to the friend finder. You set your radius.
Well, you don't even need to do that. You can just like find people and message them like, hey, you're 5 miles from me. You want to meet me at the pub? But I have my radius set for 50 kilometers. That circle. No, that's not. That I have a tighter circle. Hold on. So I got my radius set for 50 kilometers. And at 50 kilometers, that smaller circle, there's 334 people. 334 people within 50 kilometers. Right? Whoops. Of course, my app crashed when I did that. 300, and I could send them a group message, right? I can send a group message like, hey, we're having a meetup at, Joe's Bar and Grill, 123 Main Street on Saturday. And then people show up, and every single person you meet, you're going to want to take down their name and number, because they're literally your new best friend. People are using it as a dating app. People are using it to hire people. Like if you want to hire somebody, like let's say you have a small business, restaurant, whatever, landscaping, whatever it is, you're going to look around and you can click people's profiles and see if they're interested in work. You can message people, say, hey, I've got 4 jobs available, 1 job available. Reach out, and bam, every one of those people that call you are awake and aware people. That's kind of cool, right? Knowing how to do the job, that's the easy part. When you hire somebody, it's who are they? Where are they? Well, you know where they are. They're close. And who are they? Well, they're awake and aware. That's nice. Yeah, they could figure out how to do the job. And you have a great employee relationship friend. Amazing.
So I have a t-shirt idea for you.
Shoot.
I don't know if you get too much into selling t-shirts, but
and
it might already been, brought up to you, but how about if you made a t-shirt that said flat earthers are free thinkers?
I mean, there's so many ideas out there.
Yeah.
Flat earthers
I mean?
are free thinkers. Yeah, I mean, there's many ideas, but
I don't want any credit for it. It's just one of those ideas. Because when you're talking about hiring people, you're hiring them because they're free thinkers. They're already thinking outside the box and want to get solutions.
So many ideas. My in the app under the shopping cart, this is my t-shirt shop. You hit that. There's a couple designs. You hit it, it goes into the website. Tons of designs. I'm wearing one right now. Yes, this is my subtle. Hey, Earth is flat. So my subtle t-shirt.
Nice.
Pretty subtle, right?
A little bit. I think you could have gotten a little bit more bold with it.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of stuff in the app right there. And t-shirts are a great way to start the conversation. You could have just simpler ones, and people go, one of the ones that starts the best conversation is I have one that says, I'm a blue dot. And people go, what's a blue dot? And then you break out the app and you go, here. You go, well, these are blue dots, right? And you're like, well, what are they? And they go, these are people that have questioned the globe. What do you mean question the globe? Now you're balls deep in a flat earth conversation, right? Yeah. I have hats too. It says, I'm a blue dot. And everyone's like, what's a blue dot? That's the question, because they just asked you a question. And you say, well, these are blue dots.
That's
right?
Awesome. And
then now you're in the conversation. The next thing they say, where can I get that app? Then you tell them about the Bitcoins. You say, you think it's crazy? This crazy guy's offering Bitcoin for 1 globe proof, but you have to watch the video every day. And if they watch the video every day, what's going to happen is every day they're going to hit the video. Come on, get out of there. They're going to hit the video, which is right here. And they're going to, I want another video. Well, actually, the videos that show up after it are in a playlist. They're not YouTube algorithm videos of nonsense. And then when they're done with those, they're going to hit this button right here. That button there brings you to all of the videos from that month and all the previous months and years. So this is all the videos from April so far. Whoops. And if you hit the little hamburger at the top, there's all the other years. And if I hit, let's say 2020, there are all the months. Let's go August 2020. And now I've got 31 more videos to look at. Okay. And these are all hand selected by me. And this is literally a lifetime of resources. So again, what's better than seeing the truth of this world? People that are depressed, it's because your soul knows the truth of this world. Your soul is a piece of the creator, and it's trying to tell you, but your conscious mind is being steered by the news.
Absolutely.
The news, north, east, west, south, they're steering your mind.
I have never felt as good as I do now than since I pulled the trigger on finally starting a podcast. And
there you go.
Listening to podcasts for years, and it's like, okay, I started this to open my mind, look at different perspectives, bring people on such as yourself, give you a platform. Not everybody that is going to listen to this episode is going to agree with it. I get that, but it's still knowledge that's out there. And if people, like, when I really started embracing a lot of this, I scared the shit out of my wife. She at one point she's like, "You don't even believe in God." I'm like, "I believe in a creator." I just think there's a lot of other stuff that we've been force fed that just is total bullshit. And we had a conversation one time, and she's like, I don't know if I can believe that because it scares me. And I said, it scares you because it goes against everything that you were taught
Right.
and or programmed since the moment you came out of your mom's womb. Plain and simple.
100%. And people are afraid of change. People
Yes.
love consistency, and they created a worldview, and that's where they go. That's where they live inside that worldview.
Absolutely.
It's I just, when you say not everyone's going to agree, those of you that don't agree, ask yourself, why do you think the earth is a globe? Come up with one reason. Okay. And I can tell you what your reasons are: boats over the horizon, sticks and shadows from Aristophanes 2,000 years ago, day and night, sunsets, because not that many people could lie. Or why would they lie? In the frequently asked questions, hit the why the lie. Watch those videos. Okay. Take the Flat Earth crash course in the app, hit Flat Earth movies and turn off Netflix. Save that money. Okay. Right? Netflix, what is that? $20 a month or something? $11 a year. And there's more content than you can even watch. And every single video is amazing. Right? And people go, well, these videos are just on YouTube and other places. Yeah. Good luck finding them. Okay. It's like you're going to spend hundreds and you can spend 500 hours. That's a long time. Researching flat Earth, and you're not going to find anything. You're going to find like a couple hours of good stuff and a whole bunch of stuff that'll just throw you off, make you doubt, make you start wondering, and make you quit. Your brain will get tired and will be confused, and then you'll just quit. When in fact, I could show you stuff. And then don't just believe a YouTube video. When I first started trying to debunk flat Earth and prove the globe, I saw all these boats over the horizon being zoomed back in with our today's consumer optics. And I went out and spent $1,000. We got a P900, a super zoom. And I went out and I zoomed in on things that should be behind the curve. And then you could argue, well, the curve calculator is wrong. Well, you know what? Here's what I do. The Earth is so not a globe that you can even go with their stupid calculator. At 10 miles, there should be 66 feet. Well, Metabunk, the disinfo, fact checking site, they say, no, it's not 60 feet a drop because the target is 33 feet down and you're 33 feet down. So there's only a 33-foot hump, right? Instead of a 66-foot drop. That's complete and total bullshit. But I'll give it to you. You can have it, right? So now the 10-foot buoy I'm looking for that should be 33 feet below your hump, it's still there. Right. It should be 33 feet hidden. It's only 10 feet high. Okay. It's still there. Okay. It's literally like, I'm going to go play golf and I'll give you a 50-point handicap because you can't win. You can't win. Right. Right. I don't play golf, so I don't even know if 50 points is good, but you can't win because you can't get any points. Things work on a flat Earth. Great. Things work on a flat Earth and a globe Earth. Great. Like circumnavigation, east and west, work on both. Mm-hmm. Nothing only works on a globe Earth. Nothing. There's no points in the globe Earth basket.
Nope. Well, Dave, I want to thank you for your time. I would love to have you back anytime you want to come on. It was an honor that you reached out to me and asked to come on. I was flabbergasted, to say the least. And let people know where they can get a hold of you one more time, and anything else that you want to plug, your T-shirts,
the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Hard name to remember, but if you search, on Apple, it'll come up. If you type in Flat E, it should be the #1 hit. On Google Play, they have a fake one in there already. By the Flat Earth Society type people, where it's all nonsense, right? And they use some of my graphics, they use my name. You can't get rid of them. It's all right. The app sucks. It's got I don't even know what it's rated, but it's horrible. And just don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because it's not my app. My app is the highest rated in both stores. Everything can be found at flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com, my podcast. People that want to hand out business cards, I have the artwork there. Just click on it. It downloads. Go to Vistaprint for like $10. You can get like 500 cards and hand them out. Let's spread the word. 2022 is the year of flat Earth. April 22nd is now Flat Earth Day. It's no longer Earth Day. It's Flat Earth Day. And the next level title of the movie is coming out. I don't know if you saw Level last year.
No, I didn't.
Level, it's in the app under Flat Earth Movies. You need to watch that, by Hibbler Productions. A fantastic Flat Earth movie, documentary, whatever you want to call it. And it's great. This year's one, he says it's going to be way better. And that's exciting because I'm in it, and that scares the hell out of me. Okay. Yeah. So, and that's coming out April 22nd. It'll be premiered on the app before it's anywhere else available. And it's you have to rent it to support Hibbler. I think it's, I don't know, $3, $5, whatever it is. It's I don't think it's any more than that, but it's fantastic. Or you can buy it for like a couple dollars more. It's a great way to wake people up. Like, hey, you're having some friends over, movie night. Hey, I got this movie. It's called The Next Level. And they have no idea what they're going into. And basically, you just took a flat earth baseball bat and knocked them out. Nice. Okay?
Nice.
So check it out. And don't be afraid to talk to your friends about it, because this is the most important topic. This is the Matrix. We're in the Matrix. Think of this world as the Matrix. And if you don't unplug, you're just stuck in the system, feeding them your fear, right? Everything is based on fear with them, right? Absolutely. The only reason you do anything, the only reason you give the elite anything or obey is because of fear. And it's all false evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
FlatEarthDave.com. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you. And to my guests, don't forget, remember, think for yourself.